Hi everyone, I'm Ray and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to whip up a batch of pesto, but this is not traditional pesto, of course. This is going to be a healthier version of pesto, and we are using beautiful kale as well as traditional basil. So let's talk about some of the ingredients that are going to go into this recipe, and please don't change the channel because you're going, ew, kale. You know what? You can't hardly even taste the kale, and you get all the nutritional bang for the buck without the taste of kale. So please stay with me because you are gonna really love this. And we'll talk about the versatility of pesto and why I like to make pesto. So let's start out by talking about the kale. Kale is a highly nutritious vegetable that is part of the cabbage family. So it's a cruciferous vegetable like broccoli and cauliflower and collard greens and Brussels sprouts. It's low in calories, it's high in antioxidants, it's high in vitamin C, which is great for your immune system, high in vitamin K, great for your skin. Your gut bacteria loves kale. It just nourishes and feeds all of the good bacteria in your belly. And trust me, when your belly feels good, you feel good. So it's great for cholesterol. It's high in beta carotene, which actually converts to vitamin A in your body, which is also great for your skin, good for your eyes. So kale is a really nutritious vegetable. Now, it also has oxalates in it, which can be kind of detrimental for people who have kidney stones or are prone to kidney challenges. So you just need to balance what you eat. It doesn't mean you can't eat it. You just need to balance what you're eating, oxalates, with foods that are non-oxalates or higher in acids. And we're gonna do that because we're adding lemon, which not only gives this beautiful recipe kind of a zing to it, but lemon has citric acid, and among being great with vitamin C and having lots of antioxidants, great for your immune system, great for your kidney health, it helps balance out the oxalates that we're gonna have in the kale. We are gonna use my coveted Cuisinart, and we're gonna use the S blade. So let's go ahead and, like always, let's get that blade in there before we start loading any food in. And we're gonna start by putting a layer of kale first, okay? Now, we are also putting equal amount of basil. So there's about 2 cups of kale, 2 cups of basil. And so let's talk about the basil for a minute. So the basil, as you probably are aware, it has a very, very strong flavor. So the beauty of mixing it with the kale is that the basil flavor just comes through and it kind of mutes the taste of the kale. So if you don't like kale, this is a great way to get the nutrition in kale without actually tasting the kale. Now, I actually like kale, but for those of you who don't, this is a great recipe for you. So, and basil in and of itself is, an anti-inflammatory food. This is really good for your blood sugar levels. It's good for your, insulin in your body. It's said to actually reduce stress. It's good for digestive health. And as far as immune support, high in vitamin C and high in zinc. So that's next. Now, what we are going to do next is we are going to put in some oil. And this is olive oil, and I think I've talked to you before, but I buy only organic, extra virgin olive oil in a dark bottle. And the reason I do that is because this can sit in your pantry a lot longer without going rancid, because it actually does have a shelf life to it. So if you have it in a dark bottle, it will keep longer in your pantry, stored in a cool and dry place. And olive oil is one of the few oils that I actually still even have in my pantry. And I'm not gonna go on a huge rant about oil, but just let me tell you that the oils of today are very highly processed. And when I say highly processed, I mean that they are processed using industrial chemicals to actually extract the oil from the seeds that they're using to actually make the oil. So when you're buying extra virgin olive oil, it is one of the least processed oils. It's also a mono unsaturated fat, which is a healthy fat for your body. It still is high in calories, so if you're a calorie counter, you need to be cautious of that, but your body needs some fat. And this is one of the healthy ones. Now, if you're interested in reading more about seed oils, I've got a whole blog post about it. So I'll go ahead and put a link to that. And actually I have a link on fats, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes so that you can go read more about that rather than me ranting about it here. Okay. And then we're going to add our lemon. So we talked about vitamin C, antioxidant, great for kidney health, good for your skin. And also it adds a little moisture. So because we're not adding as much oil, you know, traditional pesto recipes would call for a full cup of oil, and we're only putting half a cup of oil. So we're putting half the oil in this recipe, and we're putting in the lemon juice as well to give it some moisture. But also the lemon juice gives it an unexpected and really nice zingy light flavor, and it really kind of amps up the entire recipe in terms of raising the vibration of this particular pesto. So you get that. And then we're gonna put in 4 cloves of garlic. It might look like 5 because I actually cut one because I made a mistake. And then these are toasted walnuts, and they happen to be red walnuts because that's what I have, but you don't have to use red walnuts. Any walnuts will do. So it's a half a cup of toasted walnuts, and then it's a 1/3 cup of toasted pine nuts. Now, I'm adding the walnuts because the walnuts are so good for your brain. They are also very high in omega-3s, and it's a plant-based omega-3 as opposed to an animal-based omega-3. So if you are eating plant-based, walnuts actually are a really good source of omega-3s for your body, which is a very healthy oil that your body actually does need. But walnuts also are antioxidants. The one bad thing about this, and actually the olive oil, they're high in calories. So, you know, you just need to kind of be cautious of that. And then we're adding pine nuts also, as I mentioned, because the pine nuts they give it a really buttery flavor, and pine nuts are a traditional ingredient in pesto. A lot of people don't like to use pine nuts because they're rather expensive, but I think it's worth it in this recipe because it does add a very nice kind of depth to the dish, which I think is really makes a difference. Now, we're also adding a bit of Parmesan cheese. You can use vegan Parmesan cheese, which is what I'm using, or you can just use a traditional Parmesan cheese. This one just happens to be shredded, so I'm adding that in. Now, a typical pesto would call for about a cup. We're using a 1/3 cup, but we're adding a secret ingredient, and this is nutritional yeast. Now, nutritional yeast is really loaded with B vitamins, lots of them. And the taste of the nutritional yeast is cheesy. So we're getting the same kind of taste from the little bit of Parmesan cheese that we added and the nutritional yeast without adding a ton of regular Parmesan cheese to the recipe. Now, this happens to be a nutritional yeast brand that I like. It's called Nutrilicious, and the packaging does not say it's organic. I actually called the manufacturer. They said that it is, but it is not marked. It's only marked vegan, and it's marked non-GMO. So at your own risk. But I'm telling you, the taste of this particular nutritional yeast is really delicious. And again, it's loaded with vitamin B, which is so good for your body. And it includes vitamin B that you can't get, you know, if you're eating a lot of plant-based foods, you tend to sometimes lack in vitamin B, and this will help with that. And now we're going to add just a pinch of salt and pepper and some sofrito seasonings, and we will be wrapping this recipe up. So we'll do a pinch of pepper, and we'll do a pinch of salt, and then this is 1 teaspoon of the sofrito seasonings. And what I like about the sofrito seasoning is it gives it a little bit of a kick because it has red pepper in it. And I prefer the Trader Joe's brand, but you could get any sofrito seasoning and use that. I don't remember when we were talking about the nuts, I don't recall if I told you that I had this pan on the stove, and I just heated that pan a dry pan. I didn't put any oil or anything in it, just the dry pan. I dumped in the nuts and I just stirred it continuously for maybe 4 minutes until all of the nuts were toasted. And I think the toasting of the nuts actually brings out the flavor of the nuts a little bit more than if you were to not toast them. So I recommend toasting the nuts. So now we've got all of the ingredients in here, and let me get the lid. And like we always do when we use the Cuisinart, we're going to give it 5 or 6 pulses, and then we're going to turn it on and we're going to let the machine do the work and blend everything together for us. So here we go. Okay, let's see how it looks. Oh, beautiful. See how nice that is? Wow. I think this is gonna be delicious. Now, let's talk about what do I do with this now that I've made it, right? So I actually made this particular recipe because I've been requested to bring an appetizer to a party. And so I'm going to take stuffed mushrooms to the party, and we're going to stuff it with this beautiful pesto. So that is partly why I made it. Now, clearly, I'm not gonna use all of this pesto in that one recipe. So the beauty of this pesto is, it is essentially a form of meal prep, because this will keep in the refrigerator for a week, or you can put it in the freezer. And if you put it in the freezer, you might want to think about what you might want to use it for in the future, so you can decide what size container you want to put it in. So for example, for lunch tomorrow, I am going to take about a tablespoon of this, maybe 2, and I'm going to toss it with my steamed cauliflower and broccoli, and I'm going to have a beautiful and delicious meal. This is also really great if you want something to dip your artichoke in. You know, you can dip the artichoke and the artichoke heart in the pesto, and it is absolutely heavenly. The other thing I like to do with this, besides stuffed mushrooms in an appetizer, is I like to toss this with either pasta if you're eating pasta, or in my case, zoodles, which is zucchini noodles. And I like to toss it with that, and it becomes a beautiful pasta sauce. And you don't need to worry about adding Parmesan cheese, and you don't need to worry about adding any fat or anything. You know, all of it is beautifully in the pesto already. And you don't even really need to season it. You just need to boil the pasta and add your pesto to it. And you don't even need to cook the pesto, because just the heat of the pasta or the zoodles is enough to kind of melt the pesto into the rest of the dish. So it's fantastic. The other thing you could do with this, which I love to do, is I make a stuffed chicken breast with this. Fantastic. So it can be an appetizer, it can be a full-on meal, it can be a dip. You could mix some with yogurt and serve it with fresh carrots and radishes and cucumbers. Be delicious. You could serve it over zucchini. I mean, it's limitless what you can do with it. And so why I say it's a meal prep is that, you know, you can have it in the refrigerator for a week and kind of pick at it throughout the week, or you can put it in the freezer. It'll keep in the freezer for about 6 months, and then you can pull it out when you need it, and you've got it. And you know, all you have to do is make some pasta or make a vegetable dish and toss it together, and you're in good shape. So lots of versatility. Now let's quit talking and let's have a taste. Wow, that is really good. Okay, for those of you who don't like kale, I will just tell you, I can't even taste the kale in this recipe. It is basil all the way coming through, and it's because the basil is a much stronger flavor. So I think you're gonna really like this pesto, and you get the nutritional punch from the kale, you know, and yeah, really delicious. Wow, that's good. Now, I'm also tasting the lemon, and the lemon is delicious. So that was the juice and the rind, you know, the exterior, the zest from the skin. And I think together it's just enough. It has a beautiful, unexpected taste. And of course the garlic is coming through, of course, fantastic. So, and you know, garlic is, you know, I'm not gonna go on about garlic because I talk about it all the time, but you know, it is an antioxidant, it is heart healthy, It is fantastic for immune support. I also have an article on my website all about garlic, so if you're interested, I'll link that too, and you can go read about it. But garlic is a superfood, and so is kale. So you are getting a high vibe, delicious sauce here that is so versatile. You can mix it with a variety of different things, and I think you're really gonna like it. I hope you'll give it a try. You see how easy it came together. Bon appetit, everybody.